And speaking of Anthony B, that's Life. From 2001 on the same label. This has some good songs. It's got the song Good Life. And That's Life. Black Coffee's a good song too. I like the cover. Yeah, just some more good music to chill when you're listening to Anthony B. And this is a Columbia insert from the 60s, which is weird. And there's the label. Ho, 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 ho. Whoops. Anyway, yeah, I definitely recommend Anthony B, the reggae singer. But unfortunately, because of this dude, I'm gonna have to change my YouTube name, because everyone seems to get this guy when they type in my name on YouTube. So I think we're gonna change it to something a little more memorable. Linda Ronstadt, Heart Like a Wheel. Great singer. This has No Good, Faithless Love, Heart Like a Wheel, When Will I Be Loved. I got this from my uncle, I believe. And I'll show you the vinyl. On Capitol from 1974, OG Press. Yeah. Linda Ronstadt's not singing anymore because of health issues, but in her time, she was a really good singer. I gotta say that. Yeah, so check out Linda Ronstadt. And then we got another Helen Reddy, Free and Easy. Another record that was given to me by my uncle. I do not know any Helen Reddy, unfortunately. Maybe I should actually listen to this. Oh no, I know the song Angie Baby. Okay. So I know like one song from her. Yeah. I do have Helen Reddy and... Oh no! What am I saying? There's not another Helen. That was Linda. What am I saying? I'm a dork. This is a 10-inch vinyl. It's actually... I think this is on YouTube. I want to say... I could be wrong. Is this Christian? Yeah, this is Christian rock. Secret Society with We've Got Something to Say. It's actually signed by one of the guys. Zabo Productions. It's actually pretty good 80s rock. Not gonna lie. I didn't even realize the Christian overtones until I actually listened to the lyrics. But this is actually not bad. I got this at a record store years ago. Shout out to Pepperland Records. You guys are amazing. Pretty cool center labels. This was on actually white vinyl, which is really cool. It's like got synths and kind of corny, but it's kind of corny in the sense like it's lovable. And the Christian overtones aren't really that explicit or whatever. And it's fun. It's a good listen. To Mo, God Bless and Thanks by Don. Don or Dan, I don't know. But yeah, I have that 10-inch. I put my 10 inches and my 12 inches together. The Warrior Break. Bombay Records. This is how the West Coast rocks. It's for this is for DJs only vinyl. It's got like sampling and samples and like for like DJs to scratch, but I don't do that. It's not for me. But what's cool about it is it's on a green vinyl. So this is a untouched record. It was sealed when I got it. You know, I think I got it at a Goodwill. Nowadays, you could just download the file of the song, and they actually have what they call digital turntables. So that way you don't have to scratch the... and I'm a dork. I put the inner in the wrong way. Yeah, screw it. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, they have like digital turntables where you can just download the file and then you could literally like manually scratch the digital song. So, but back in '95, that's how we did it. Or that's how they did it, rather. So this is another copy. I have a second press, I think, of this. I don't have an original yet. I want to get an original copy of this, but it's a Kiss Destroyer. A very beat up copy. I think this is a copy I got from Goodwill because I wanted a copy of Kiss Destroyer. It's in pretty bad condition. It's got a lot of good songs. Detroit Rock City, God of Thunder, Sweet Pain's a great song. Flaming Youth is awesome. Shout Out Loud. The original press of this was the last album of Kiss to have the Bogart label, which I'd love to get one day. This actually did come with the original inner sleeve. Now, when the original inner sleeve came out, it actually came out this way, but later pressings came on the top. Yep, this is the later press. I think this is actually a early 80s press, now that I think about it, but it's Kiss Destroyer. Good album. I think everybody has talked about this album to death who are Kiss fans, and so, to some people, you may love it. It's up there for me. Detroit Rock City. I'll go more into depth when I get to, you know, my Kiss box. Because some of my Kiss vinyl are kind of all over the place. I wish they were all together. That's another good band. I'll show that later. This is an OG copy. I think this is an OG mono copy of Rubber Soul by the Beatles. This has You Won't See Me, Michelle, Run For Your Life, In My Life, Girl, I've Just Seen a Face. This is when the Beatles were starting to get... times are changing, and you can see the Beatles are starting to grow their hair longer. And you could definitely tell, like, from the first 3 albums to this era, that there was going to be a major change. But it's pretty cool. I own an original mono press of this. I know Beatles purists will say the mono copies actually sound better, because like when they, I don't know, something about like the stereo versions, like they kind of messed with the recordings a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, Rubber Soul on the original Capitol. Now I'd love to get an original UK press, but I don't have the funds for that. I wish I did. But I'm fine with the American press. It's the same album. Unfortunately, it has a little bit of writing on it, so the jacket's not in the best condition. I used to have Please Please Me, but I gave that to my uncle, who seems to have lost it because he doesn't play vinyl, so. We got, I think this is the first Cheap Trick album. think it's self-titled. This has Daddy Should Have Stayed in High School, Oh Candy, The Ballad of TV Violence. It's not my favorite by any stretch of the imagination by Cheap Trick, but still pretty. It got some rockin' tunes on here. Now my favorite album is actually their third album. That's the one with Surrender on it. And my uncle had an OG of that, which I got from his collection. But this is a original Epic pressing from '77. Yeah, Cheap Trick are one of those really good bands that came in the '70s. Yeah, I know. Some of you are like, well, they had that, pop hit, I Want You to Want Me, and they got really poppy. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that at one point they were really rocking. And they're still going on. Which is pretty cool. As of this recording, This is my mom's, of course. This is Wham! Music from the Edge of Heaven. Original 1986 press. This has I'm Your Man, Wham! Rap 85, Battle Stations, I'm Your Man. I just said that. And Last Christmas, which was originally a George Michael solo song, but it somehow ended up in this copy, I don't know, or this album on Columbia. I have actually all the Wham albums on vinyl. That's pretty cool. My mom actually saw Wham live in 1985 when the Wham America tour came around. And there's actually video footage of that same show that my mom went to. And the only reason that... Oh, there's an insert. I forgot about that. Yeah, it has a paper insert. My mom, the only reason that video footage exists of that show my mom went at was because a news station in the area happened to film footage. Not the whole concert, unfortunately, but it was live video footage of that show, which I think is really cool. Wish the whole thing was filmed, but, Bootleggers weren't interested in shows like that. It seems like the bootleggers at the time were more interested in, like, hard rock and metal shows. And, so you don't see a whole lot of bootlegs of, like, pop shows. I don't know. I just noticed that. Alright. This, I believe, is an OG copy of Marilyn Manson's The Pale Emperor, which I've talked about before, and this is actually my least favorite Manson album. I know. Some people in the comments will be like, well, this was his comeback album. And I guess kind of disagree with that. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's just because it's my least favorite doesn't mean that it's bad. But I don't know. It's just something about this album I just did not particularly enjoy. And it's on black vinyl on Loma Vista, 2-record set. It does have does it have the acoustic version? It does have, like I said, this has good songs. The Mephistopheles of Los Angeles, Worship My Wreck, Third Day of a 7-Day Binge, Deep Six, Killing Strangers, Devil Beneath My Feet is good. And also, yeah, it's not bad though. I just think he's made better albums, especially his most recent album. It's probably the best stuff he's put out since, really truly, since Golden Age of Grotesque. And I also have this. which is a magazine from the LA Times from the time this album came out, January 2015. So I saved that. And I think I'll even, yeah, there's a little article with Manson. Yeah, show that. It was sort of the start of his blues rock era. Like, it's probably, and honestly, I would even say this is probably his most experimental album. In my opinion. Yeah, Pale Emperor. I own a copy on vinyl. Put that board in there. There we go. Thank you. Yeah. I need to get more Manson on vinyl. It's just that most of it's very expensive. We got A Flock of Seagulls, A Dream Come True. And it's actually autographed by, I think, Mike Score? I think. It was autographed back in 2001. This has Love on Your Knees, A Whole Lot of Lovin', Heartbeat Like a Drum. I know they're a lot more popular in Australia than they were here in America. It's on Jive, which kind of makes sense because these guys were pretty pop. This does not have the album with I Ran So Far Away on it, so. Yeah, they're, I like A Flock of Seagulls. They're not bad. Definitely dated for sure, but it's not bad. I got that, by the way, for like 15 bucks. I'm going to have to let me see if I can censor that. I gotta censor. I think these guys are from Portland, Oregon. It's like a garage rock band called The Hunches. And this is Home Alone 5. This is like a compilation of a bunch of a radio set and some live tracks. This is a terrible condition recording. And this is actually one of the last live broadcasts of John Peel, which is wild to me. Because it seems like every band has been on John Peel's radio show. But yeah, this band's not bad. I just wish this record was in better condition. Because it skips like crazy. Yeah, this is a pretty poor condition record. Scratches galore. Yeah, John Peel. If you like garage rock, West Coast garage rock, I think you'll enjoy it. I find it funny that this album's called Home Alone 5, and it came out, I think, in 2009. And Home Alone 5 hadn't even come out yet. So. Is this an OG copy? I don't know. It sounded okay when I played it. AC/DC Black, Back in Black. Not a great condition copy. I got it at Goodwill. But, you know, this has a Shoot to Thrill, Have a Drink on Me, You Shook Me All Night Long, Hell's Bells, Back in Black, of course. Overplayed, definitely. Very, 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 very overplayed. But, with that being said, you got to admit, Brian Johnson did save the band. You know, after Bon Scott's unexpected passing. So, can't fault him for that. And this is a pretty good album. Even for AC/DC standards. 1980 on Atlantic. This is when they changed the Atlantic logo. Yeah, like you hear one AC/DC album, you kind of heard them all. And there's no way you haven't heard any of this by now. If you haven't, what are you doing? Go check out AC/DC Back in Black. I think I have Highway to Hell as well. But for whatever reason, that album's so expensive on vinyl. I don't know why. An OG, at least, from Australia. They didn't make a lot of those. We got Broken Bottles with In the Bottles. This is really good, like, punk rock from California. This has is like new stuff, and it's got stuff that was re-recorded from their singles, like 60 Forever, Goth Chicks, Kelly Osbourne, Pig Swastika. Some of those weren't singles, but yeah. Good band. I know some people would find the vocals kind of but you know, it's not perfect. And this is actually one of the rare variants on red vinyl. I think it's limited to like 300 copies or something like that. I think this is one of their only albums too, so it does come with a... What else? Does this come with anything else? No. Just a lyric sheet. Rest in peace, Jess the Mess. Yeah, not that easy to find. I found the sealed of all places, which is crazy to me. Because I wasn't even looking for the red vinyl variant. I just found it. At a record store. It was in the vinyl section. Yeah, check out Broken Bottles. Good band. I mentioned these guys in my cassette collection. Can of Beans. These guys are from San Pedro. Really good alt rock or whatever. Baby J, you know, now known as Cody Liam, was in this band. What's the Liquor For? Rainbow is a good song. It's kind of depressing listening to this though, because the singer kind of went through a lot of depression. You know, Fred passed away. Just a lot kind of went down after this band broke up. So it's kind of sad to listen to in a way, but, you know, I still enjoy it. No One Knows Why is a good song. You may or may not like it. It's kind of lo-fi somewhat. Kind of raw, but I like it. It's on regular black vinyl, but I'll show the labels because it's actually pretty funny. See the cat? Plays a 45. It's pretty cool. I'll show the insert. I think you could still probably buy copies of this, I'm sure. If you can't, I don't know if Recess still has any copies, but yeah. Because this is on Recess. Actually, No One Knows Why is actually a cover. I'm just realizing that now. I think that was by the Grumpies, yeah. Which I don't have a Grumpies album. I need to get it. I prefer the... Believe it or not, I kind of actually prefer the Can of Beans version. I should put them like this. Bought this at Burger when they still had it, and they actually had it on their wall, which is interesting. I just remember seeing the cover with the dog, and I was like, oh, doggo, this looks like a really fun album. And it was. Alright, this is actually Elton John's very first album, and I think this is actually a original UK press, but it's Empty Sky. This has this Empty Sky. Lady, What's Tomorrow? Sales. Basically all the stuff that came out before Elton John got really big. From 1969. And then he released another album here in America. No, I think this may have come out in America, but it was much later. Yep, original UK press. I somehow found it at a record store near me. Because I was like, oh, holy crap, it's Elton John's first album. And by the way, if you haven't seen Rocket Man, please do so. I think you'll like it way more than Bohemian Rhapsody. Because I've always said, like, Rocket Man was such a better movie. So, yeah, Elton John. I don't have the second album, but, you know. Now, this is probably one of the coolest records I have in my collection. This is Charles Albright, The First 4 Years. I showed the cassette version when I was showing my cassette albums. And this is the limited edition vinyl that's limited to 150 copies. I got number 135. What this is 2 records sandwiched on top of each other with glitter. It even has a disclaimer that says this record inside will not play on most self-contained phonograph units, speakers, and radio all in one. It is very heavy, but will play at all belt drive turntables. But I actually played this on one of my what was it? Regular turntables, and it played fine. So, I don't know. Maybe it was the really cheap ones they were talking about. Is there an insert inside? Alright. Feast your eyes on this. Look at that. It just says Charles Albright, The First 4 Years of my label. But look at that. See how it's like sandwiched with glitter and glue? I have never ever seen anything like that, ever. It's one of the most beautiful looking vinyl easily in my collection, and it sounds really good too. But yeah, so if you ever want to know, there was a record that was pressed with 2 sandwiched records in one. There you go. I recommend you check this out, though, for real. Yeah, I'm gonna take out the sleeve for this one. Yeah, check out Charles Albright. Good stuff. I still have the sticker that came with it, so. Speaking of Wham, here's the second album. This is an original copy my mom bought. It says Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. And of course, the one song that everybody uses in a sexy scene now, in a parody or whatever, Careless Whisper, it's on this album. You've heard it, I've heard it, we've all heard it. Like you couldn't have heard it anywhere else. And that was, I think, also a solo song. but it ended up on this Wham album. Somebody named Judy used to own this. Oh no, never mind. You know what? I was about to say, like, wait, how was this my mom's original copy if someone named Judy owned it? No, I actually bought this for my mom. I thought it was my mom's copy. Because she told me she bought this originally back in the day. So I guess she sold her original copy, so. Or gave it away, I don't know. Anyway, Wham. Good British pop. They were big for a while. And then we got Sting. Nothing Like the Sun. This is okay. It's been forever since I've actually listened to this. It's a 2-record set. I'll show the the labels. I'm not the biggest fan of Sting. I like the what was it? I like the song "My Funny Friend and Me" from the Emperor's New Groove. But other than that, my favorite Sting stuff is with the Police. And I have most of their albums. With credits. Maybe I'll give this another re-listen. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't own every Sting album for that reason. But if someone tells me out there that his solo stuff's actually good, maybe I'll pick some more up. I don't know. We'll see.